Hi, minasan konnichiwa, and welcome to the Board Game Dojo. My name is Eric, and this week starts Golden Week, which is kind of like spring break here in Japan. So many families are going to be traveling because the weather is perfect for it. So we thought instead of doing a deep dive on one game, that we will do a rapid review of 5 games. And we chose the 5 games that have been published so far in Itten's Funbrick series, because this series is marketed as the perfect travel companion due to its small box size and good accessibility. To keep myself from being too long-winded on these rapid reviews, I'm going to have a timer going down here for 3 minutes for each game, and you can follow along of what game I'm talking about up here. I'll have the title of each game right here. Now, I will tell you the title of each game and the box number, because for some websites when you're shopping for them, they'll say the name of the game. For other, they will say Itten's Funbrick Series 1, Itten's Funbrick Series number 2, and so on and so forth. So, without further ado, let's get started on box number 1. So the first game is Bonfire Party, or Mina no Fire, by Yoshiaki Tomioka. Now, each game in this series is a different genre of game, and this one is a cooperative game. This game is kind of reminiscent of games like The Mind, where you can have no communication with your teammates. Each player has an equal number of blue and red matchsticks in their hand. And in each round, you can pick between 1 and 3 of the sticks in your hand that you will secretly choose. You'll count down from 3, and everybody will simultaneously reveal which ones they chose. If the total number of either color, of either blue or red, matches the round number that you're in, you win and you advance to the next round. If not, then you lose and have to try again. It's kind of hard for me to show you by myself how this works, so I'm going to borrow from Itten's rule video. Don't worry about the text on the bottom, I'm basically translating it for you anyway. In this example, it is round 1. But when they count down, they've shown 2 blue and 2 red matchsticks, so they lose. They then try again and show a total of 1 red, so they advance. Round 1, 1 red. Our opinion is it's fine. It's okay. It's perfectly okay. First of all, it's definitely the best looking of the series, I think. Maybe there's one other game that looks good too. But this is definitely the winner of the best Instagram entry in this series. It is so cute to have these little fire. You're building it up as you go, so you actually kind of start from down here and you're putting on the flames as you go, building up the surrounding wood piles. So I think that that's really cute. But ultimately, as a game, it's not super fun. It's fine, but it's not super fun. Because I think this game is much more luck-based. There's almost no way of helping your teammates out. Where in The Mind, you had the shuriken where you all show your lowest cards, or in the crew, you can put that little astronaut token on to show, okay, it's my highest blue or my only blue, or the lowest blue I have. And so when you're able to figure out the puzzle of how to all do it together, you have this moment of mind meld of, oh, we did that. We kind of gave each other these subtle clues that worked out, and you have this sense of accomplishment. Whereas for this one, it is solely luck-based. And so you're almost just surprised when you pass, like, oh, wow, oh, okay, I guess we did it. So awesome, let's put on another one. And so because the sense of accomplishment wasn't really as pronounced, it didn't have that lasting feeling for us when we were finished with the game. Overall, I'd say this game is kind of like a lukewarm cup of tea. It's fine, it probably tastes good, but it's not exactly what you wanted and probably needed a little bit more. Box 2 is Gold Hunting, or Gold the Hunting, by Naotaka Shimamoto. This is a 2-player push your luck game. In this game, you have bits of gold that are either 1, 2, or 3 pieces high. To set up, both players will stack these pieces into up to 4 towers in front of them. Then both players will take turns guessing how many pieces are on top of one of the towers and taking it. If they are correct, they keep it. So let's say I'm going to go with this one all the way to the right is 3 pieces on top. I take it, I'm correct, so I keep it in front of me. This is the score thing in front of me. Okay? But if you were wrong, then you have to put all of the pieces you've gained thus far back in the box. So if I think this top one here is maybe 1, I take it. I'm wrong. It's 2. So I do get to keep this one, but I have to put this one back in the box over here. There's also a Gold Rush piece that everybody has, secret at the beginning of the game, that has either a 1, a 2, or a 3 on it, and it has one of 2 rolls. You can say Gold Rush when you are confident, and depending on the number on it, you can guess that the next piece you grab is that many pieces. So if I'm confident that this next piece I'm going to say is 3, I'll say Gold Rush, 3. Over here. Awesome. I'm correct, so I'll keep it in front, and I get 2 points at the end of the game for the Gold Rush. But if I was wrong, then I would have to put the nugget back in the box, and I would not gain those points. But instead, I can use it as a keep. So if I put this one back here, let's see if I can stack that. Then I could put everything I've kept so far, I can put it to the side over here, put the nugget over there as well, and at the end of the game, I will get half of these amount of points. The game is over once both people's towers are empty. So overall, unfortunately, we're pretty disappointed in this one. It has a really good skeleton, and I like the ambition of having a 2-player push your luck game. You don't see those very often. But ultimately, a couple things let it down. One being the components. I think that there's a reason for it. They glued these on off-kilter. Maybe in playtesting it made it harder to tell what the other person had, but in practicality, it actually makes it easier. I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not, but to the naked eye, this is very easy to see that this is a 2 and this is a 3. And as you're taking these gold pieces off, it becomes easier and easier to tell, okay, that one's definitely a 1, that one's definitely a 2. And it permeates throughout the rest of the game because the gold nugget I think there's supposed to be a tension between do I have my points and keep or do I risk it, becomes moot because you're not going to keep it because the other person probably has a perfect game going. In the 5 or 6 plays I have with my wife, we only had 1 or 2 wrong the whole time. And this permeates throughout the rest of the game because the end game becomes kind of pointless. Even if you're not somebody who can usually do it, there are so few pieces in this game, you can math it out in your head and go, okay, well, you only have a 1 and a 3 left, so that one's going to be the 1, that one's going to be the 3. And it's just free points at the end. You're just kind of almost going through the steps without thinking. And about halfway through the game, we kind of knew how the rest of the game was going to go. So ultimately, good skeleton, but we cannot recommend it as is. Now, the next game in the series is 3 Second Try by Daiichi Chihara and Masayuki Ikegami, and this is the party game in the series. Now, my wife and I are always looking for good, simple party games to put in our collection because we play a lot of games with people who are new to gaming. So we were really excited to try this one out, and the premise could not be simpler. This is going to work as your timer for the game, and it's about, as you can guess, 3 seconds long. One person will be the master of each round, and they will pick either a physical or mental challenge. The physical will be something like, how many times can you draw a circle on a sheet of paper? And the mental might be something like, how many historical figures can you name? I just read them off the back of the card. Then the master will start the clock, and everybody will bid how many they think they can do in 3 seconds. The person that shouts the highest number will get the first attempt to do so. Somebody else will start the timer, and they need to accomplish that many and stop the ball before it gets to the bottom. If they do that, then they get the card. If not, it goes to the next person who bid the next highest number. The first person to get 2 of these cards wins. But that's really an optional endgame. We ended up playing more than that, and I suppose that tells you our opinion of the game. It's really fun. I think everyone has a heuristic of some sort of bidding on how much they can do, and it creates these really funny moments when people fail on account of their own hubris. This game really represents what we wanted from a game in this series, a game that is simple, fun, and portable, and tactile as well, because it's Itten. It feels like a really strong entry point for people who aren't sure if they can handle the high-pressure party games, something like Board Game Dojo favorite Stay Cool. Or this is quite a good party game if you want to play with kids. I would just make sure you are looking through the deck because some of them are going to be really hard, like how many historical figures can you name. But we will definitely be keeping this in our collection. So far, the first 3 boxes, this one is definitely the best one. Box 4 is Viking See-saw, designed by Reiner Knizia, something that Itten highly publicized when the series first launched last year. It is the dexterity balancing game of the series. everyone has these little trinkets in their little ponytail holder. And the object of the game is to get rid of them by putting them on the ship without tilting the seesaw, which is here. However, if you make the ship tilt the other direction, you have to take a brown chest into your collection. If you knock something off of the ship, you have to pick that piece up and put it in your collection. The game ends when somebody empties their stuff or if all the brown chests are gone from the middle of the ship. If somebody wins by getting rid of all of their stuff, then that player wins. Otherwise, it's whoever has the least amount left in their ponytail at the end of the game who wins. For such a simple game, this game created so many laughs. It's just such a whimsical toy game thing. Without fail, when you put it on the table, it looks so simple and childish, but oh man, is this game difficult. There's such a sense of tension every time someone attempts to put something new on the ship. And sometimes it's just objectively impressive when they succeed. This game has tons of moments of how is that even physically possible? How did you just do that? This, more than any game, I think, in the Funbrick series, feels like the game where we were getting better at it the more we played. This isn't just one of the better games in the series, this is one of the better dexterity games we have. We really recommend it at 2 and 4 players, and maybe, and I can't tell if our favorite way to play it is 1v1 or as a couples game 2v2 with partners. Both are just really silly, enjoyable times that this game has just such a welcome spot in our collection. Box 5 is Stick Collection by Yoshihisa Itsubaki and is the auction entry in this series. There's quite a bit of rules for this one, but generally you are bidding on sticks of different lengths. You start with 50 points here, and you bid those points. If someone gets all 4 of a stick length, they automatically win. Otherwise, you are trying to get sticks that are 5 millimeters different and no more. The game is over when one player runs out of money, or, as I just mentioned, someone got 4 of a kind. At the end of the game, if nobody got 4 of a kind, you get points based on how many sets of consecutively 5 millimeter different sticks you have, plus how many points you didn't have from bidding. So basically the points you have left over. This game was too much, almost like the antithesis of all of the other games in this series. First of all, on the positive note, component-wise, like this is a really cute idea. So you get the sticks out of this box, almost like you would to get a fortune at the Shinto shrine or Buddhist temple here in Japan. And I think that this is a great idea. But my wife hated this thing. And I think it's because of the next point where this game way overstayed its welcome at the 2-player count, 3-player count, and 4-player count. And it says it goes up to 5. I refuse to ever play this thing at 5. I think the game is just trying to do a little bit too much. Adding complexity for complexity's sake. I think Itten wanted some game that is more complex. And actually, this is the 3rd reprinting of this game, the only one of the series that has already been made before, which I'm not really sure why they picked this one because the 2 prints beforehand weren't at all popular, seemingly. I could not find a single review by a big board game reviewer. Before this, I couldn't even find a single review on the previous iterations of this game. And in fact, it's already not doing well. This and Gold Hunting I got new at my local game store for half off in the clearance bin. I think the problem is, I just really can't think of who this is for. And there are just so many games trying to fill the niche of a short bidding game that this just kind of completely misses the mark. I don't know who's going to play this game versus something like For Sale or QE. And honestly, even though this box says it takes 20 minutes, which it definitely does, it does take quite a bit longer to the point that I could definitely get a game of For Sale in the same amount of time. And that is also a small box. Maybe it's for people who want to mix a little bit of tactility in with their auction games, but honestly, it's kind of a subpar tactile game and a subpar auction game for a total of just So I'm sorry, I applaud the ambition. Again, they're trying to fit like this tactile game and this auction game into a very, very tiny package. I applaud the effort, but I just cannot recommend this for really anyone. So anyway, that's the Itten Funbrick series so far. I say so far because they've already announced 2 new games which we got to preview and try out at the Spring Tokyo Game Market. one of which is by Rainer Knizia. It's about ninjas, and the other is like a giant domino thing. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on those. We really recommend Viking See-saw and 3 Second Try for everyone. I think everybody has a spot in their collection for these. Bonfire Party is okay. I think if you have the mind, you really don't need to buy this, but the aesthetic is definitely really cute. So if you're into that, go ahead. It's an okay game. And we really don't recommend stick collection or gold hunting. Overall, we're pretty happy with what Itten has tried to accomplish here, though. Usually small box games are mostly card-based games, so having 4 of the 5 of these have no cards at all is an interesting direction. And we're looking forward to seeing what they come up with next. It's kind of like button shy games where you're interested to see how different designers tackle the problem of trying to design a game that fits in the wallet. I'm excited to see different designers try and fit different genres of game into the same size box. I think it's a really cool idea. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like this format or have a game that you want us to cover, please let us know in the comments below. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter or listen to our podcast, and all of those links will be in the description as well. Until next time, arigatou gozaimashita. Mata ne!